Hey, Bayek, it's me, and well, this has come through the door. Now, I get these very on and off, basically, and I'm glad I've got one because it covers classic Doctor Who mainly. Well, the ones that I've had. So I better get on with it. Anyhow, it's this series. It's called Doctor Who Chronicles, and this is 1971. And I'll go through it and we can have a look and see. It's right grand, I'll tell you. Anyhow, let's get on with it. Right. So 1971 is the year. And now it starts off here with sort of an introduction about Doctor Who. And our 1971 saw a new companion. Yes, and really the beginning, it had already been forming, but Unit was now becoming the family. And also this character, the Master, he appeared now. He was the wonderful new enemy, the wonderful Moriarty to Sherlock Holmes. He was here, and let's get on with going through it. So that's the sort of introduction. Then there's more about this. It's a general overview. And yeah, quite a bit more. There we are. The whole change from 1970. Right, and then next one, we have a month-by-month account in 1971 of what happened in Doctor Who. And it's called The Diary of Doctor Who. See there? Go through each month. There we are. Yeah. And let's have a look. What else? Right up to December on this side. Right. And then we have here, now each episode, story of that year, they do an article on. And therefore we've got the opening, The Terror of the Autons. Yes. And that introduced the Master. Yes. Wonderful story. And of course, Joe. Yeah, Joe. And there we've got a look at Katie Manning, who played Joe. And she was very popular and still is, and does a lot for Doctor Who. She really loves the Doctor Who fans. And there we are. There's more about her. And we got more here. Different looks. And then look, when she came back, she did an episode where she was with Matt Smith, the 11th Doctor, and also Sarah Jane, Elizabeth Sladen there. Great picture. Wonderful. Right, now it's saying that, of course, Doctor Who, the new era now, in colour, had been given a bit more money by the BBC. And it's reflecting on some of the effects that they could use in production. You know, I mean, we're not talking masses of money, but they could use more effects, and were able to do so. And also technology, you know, they were learning about how they could use cameras and what have you. And then here we are looking at the fashions reflected in Joe, of course. And of course, you could say, look, the classical look from the Doctor, John Pertwee as the third Doctor. But then we start to look at the fashion styles of Joe of the 70s. There's quite a thing there on the fashions in the show, the way they designed, the designs they used. More again. And then we've got a look at the next story, The Mind of Evil. Oh, yes. All these classic stories, because things are just great in this era. Then, now, we've got an interview here with Don Houghton, who was a writer of Doctor Who. He actually had written The Mind of Evil. And we're having a look at him. There it is. And then some of his, stories. But here we are. Look, Dracula, AD 1972, one of my favourite Hammer films. He wrote that. Yes. And also this one, The Satanic Rites of Dracula. Is a really good writer. And, and doing Doctor Who. And then they look at the paperwork of Doctor Who in that era, the production notes and all that kind of thing, and look behind the scenes at the problems that they had, because everything has to run in a certain way. Then we've got a look, and it's a tribute really to Richard Franklin, who died in December. There we are, Richard Franklin. And he, of course, played Mike Yates. Another important established unit family member. Then we've got, where were they? People involved in Doctor Who. Where were they in 1971 that had been involved in Doctor Who? So we look at the actors and what they were up to at that time. See, look, Peter Purvis on Blue Peter. Yeah, okay. He was with the first Doctor companion. Yeah. Stephen, that's who he played. Then we've got onto a real well-loved story. Look at that. The Claws of Axos. Oh, yeah. A wonderful story. Looks at that. Fantastic. Then we've got a look at the two writers, Bob Baker and Dave Martin, who contributed so much to Doctor Who. Incredible amount of writing, and in this era and beyond. Look, we're getting into the Fourth Doctor areas as well. They were tremendous writers for the Doctor Who. Then we've got 1971 also saw more locations. Yeah, a bit more money. It meant they could spend more time on locations, and it helps the show so much, using location filming. Very much so. And then we've got a tribute to Roger Delgado as the Master. Wow, such a tragic loss it was to Doctor Who. And he made such a great contribution, and I still believe and think that he was the best Master we've ever had. Without doubt, actually. He was just perfect for the role. Just such a... And he had a history in films as well before this. I know in Hammer films he was involved in, certainly... all sorts of British films of the 50s and 60s. Then we've got the special effects. Looking at special effects. Yes! You can't beat the good old Doctor Who special effects. And they were needed in a lot of these stories. Yeah. They're brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Then we've got Colony in Space. look at that one, which I think I reviewed fairly recently, that one. And what else have we got? And then it's on about various actors who appeared in this season that may have been familiar faces, that thinking, oh yeah, we've seen them before in Doctor Who. There we are. Very familiar faces, because a lot of actors loved doing Doctor Who and came back to do more. Yeah, as we've seen over the years, it was a good thing to do. Then we're looking at the merchandise. Doctor Who, iron-on transfers, Dalek ones there, because it was becoming so popular that they did more merchandise. Look at this, sugar snacks. Remember the badges? I remember the badges you got. Oh, yeah. Fantastic. Chocolate we've got here. Yummy chocolate. Oh, wonderful stuff. Then we've got looking at the Third Doctor in the comics. And this particular comic, Countdown, was quite a big comic and featured a lot of the Third Doctor in comic strip form. Wonderful. Then we've got here The Demons, which is coming up for review probably within this next month. Maybe about 2 or 3 weeks' time. You should, you may actually, it may have only just happened, or it's going to happen. That is my schedules of reviewing. But yes, this is such a great classic story. It's the last one in the second season for John Pertwee. And then here it's looking at how Doctor Who changed in terms of they did repeats, not on Saturdays, but on other days of the week, of like abridged stories. They stuck them all together, and this was the season it happened. Yes. It was, and they proved very popular. Some of them actually got more viewers than the original transmissions. Yeah. Fantastic. Then we've got it's looking at how the newspapers viewed the changes in Doctor Who, and some of them weren't as keen. The more grittier approach, the more adult orientated, harder science fiction approach. There's still obviously it started to gain some criticism, as we know, with Mary Whitehouse and all that. It was quite a big thing at the time, especially the demons as a story as well. The nature of it, even though it's an alien thing, it was seen as very occultish. Though it's very made clear it's an alien, but it was very interesting. Then this is talking about Doctor Who in the context of all other TV series at the time. Again, colour TV now was becoming increasingly more popular into homes, and we're looking at all the schedules, and Doctor Who was very much part of that Saturday schedule, very much so. Let's look at something again, other programs that popped up at the time that were very popular going into the 70s. And then we got right at the end here a look at the ratings of all of the Doctor Who period. And this is really now we are in the golden age of Doctor Who. The ratings are just going up and up. And it's amazing. It's Doctor Who is fantastic. It's there. As we go, the third and the fourth Doctors, they just really were the height of Doctor Who, the golden age, and it's never been repeated since, really. never. And yeah, and that's it. I'm getting all sentimental again. I do when I start looking at Doctor Who when it was brilliant. And yeah, so here it is. I hope you've enjoyed my sort of quick look through Doctor Who, because you know how much I love it, and this was a real bonus getting this. I got very excited just on this. It's absolutely superb. Anyhow, I've had to shut up. So if you're new to the channel, please subscribe and have a look at what else I do on the channel. There's various playlists, and if you're interested in Doctor Who, there's more about Doctor Who. I've got reviews, all sorts of things about Doctor Who, but I've got also lots more about other things, films, and all that kind of stuff, and a bit of music here and there as well. All bits and pieces, you know, that you might like or not. Anyhow, sorry, I'm going on. Also, if you like this particular video, please give it a like. It gets it onto YouTube and algorithms. And if you've got any comments, please put your comments down. I love to read what you've got to say, you know. And that's it, really. It can't cost notes. So, bye, heck, I better go. I'm going on. So all I've got to say is, I'll see thee again.